Hello everybody and welcome to episode 16 of Broadcast UGC. I'm Galactrix and I'm here with my co-host Bazag.
Hello everyone.
And as you might have guessed from the opening trailer, this week we are playing Final Judgment by Leviathan99, who's here with us.
Hello.
Welcome back to the show. I think the last time you were on with us was way back in episode 3 when we played Yesterday is Tomorrow.
Really appreciate you having me on the show.
So, we are in the Badlands. Is everyone ready to go in?
Yes, I am. I'll just do a quick read of the description. A Cardassian Starfleet officer in the Badlands finds himself on the verge of unearthing the mystery behind the recent appearances of 40-year-old Jem'Hadar fighters. You must come to his aid not only the Undyne, but also a Starfleet Inquisition that threatens to end his research.
Right, interesting. So, can you give us a little bit of background about this mission, Leviathan? This was for the podcast, wasn't it? Content?
Yes, it was. I'd been really eager, I think I mentioned last time I was on, to do something with sort of a courtroom drama. And I'd been building that set on the side, and then when I saw the contest, I started thinking about... it seemed to me that these ships appearing was a good background for sort of a mystery. So...
Okay. So... I assume it's investigate disturbances Dr. Javik's base in the Badlands, because I've got no good deed going punished for some reason. Yes. Okay, so we're going to go. I'm going to click and go in.
Yeah, there is some granting dialogue that is there, but unfortunately we've that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's really odd that no good deed... I'm guessing... Oh, investigate disturbance. There we go.
It could just be because I've still got it in my mission log. I guess it starts in the Badlands as well. It's because we played that back in episode 7 of Broadcast UGC, I think. Now, this week on Bite Size UGC, they also reviewed Final Judgment, so I'm going to play that now while we wait for this loading screen to finish, and give you guys at home a preview of the mission we're about to play.
Welcome to episode 14 of Bite Size UGC, your destination for 3-minute Star Trek Online Foundry mission reviews. I'm Rogue Enterprise, and with me as usual is Captain P.F. Dennis. Today we're reviewing Leviathan 99's entry into the Podcast UGC Jem'Hadar mission contest, Final Judgment.
While we officially have zero influence over Podcast UGC's contest, we took a liking to Leviathan 99's entry. Let's jump right in with a look at the story. This mission, like all the contest entrants, deals with the appearance of a Jem'Hadar fighter that is highly coveted by a Cardassian scientist. The Undine have taken interest too, and without giving too much of the plot away, you'll experience some fun twists and turns on the way to a feel-good ending. Despite the intricate maps, which we'll discuss in a bit, there's an emphasis on dialogue here, and the plot is executed well. We did find some typos here and there, but they didn't detract too much from the experience. We gave story 4 stars out of 5.
Moving on to map design. The exterior space maps aren't much to look at first, mostly a view of the Badlands. But all of the interior maps are of custom design with a very nice courtroom and a holodeck recreated crime scene set that is reminiscent of TNG's A Matter of Perspective. All of these maps are well detailed, even if we could recognize that a cramped corridor was used to hijack a mundane pre-made map. Map design got 4 stars out of 5.
Most of the tech came out in the map design. An intra-map warp effect is used to simulate a setting change, and the holodeck set appearing and disappearing during a battle with some holographic Cardassians gave us some interesting things to see, but we didn't have to pick our jaws up off the floor. We gave tech 3.5 out of 5 stars.
The difficulty level of this mission in space and on the ground was solid all the way up until the last few battles. Unfortunately, a battle against holographic Cardassians with the safeties disengaged was quite a bit more difficult than a battle against the mission's main villains, the Undine, in the very next map, and the encounters could use some rebalancing. Overall, the mission is pretty solid and got a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
And here's the bite-sized breakdown for Final Judgment by Leviathan 99. It's a solidly put-together mission that features a nicely constructed courtroom drama story that's spiced up with some nice sets, but some curiously balanced battles. Another mission worth playing. Log into STO and give it a try for yourself.
Until next time, this has been Bite Size UGC.
And that was Bite Size UGC, thanks to Captain P.F. Dennis and Rogue Enterprise. And we got another episode of that coming up later, so stay tuned.
I believe the bite-sized version is probably a version prior to some of the typo fixing. There was had some wonderful help in the forums tracking some of those down.
Yes, I had for my mission contest entry. Evil 70th has done a great job with his helping with typo and spelling and grammar and things like that.
I also got a couple of reviews with some feedback for optional dialogues and things like that, so I try to incorporate that whenever I get it.
Okay, so who's going to read this opening?
I'll do this one.
Okay.
Ah, yes. Hello, Captain. I'm engaged in some sensitive work on the planet's surface. While the Federation may be above standard monetary economics, I can assure you that no expense has been spared in my investigation. I relocated Tirok Nor here to assist in my research into the recent surge in unexplained appearances by unmanned Jem'Hadar ships.
Okay, there are 2 options.
Okay. Basically, every set of dialogues in this gives you a short option and a long option, although I don't make them as obvious as some people do. If you want background on what he's doing there, you can click on that. If you want to just move along, and we lost somebody. Is everyone there?
Yep, I'm here. We might have lost Bazar for some reason, but I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute.
Okay, yeah, and you requested my assistance. It's kind of more direct, more to the point. What am I doing here?
Okay, I guess we should. I'm curious, actually. Let's do what exactly are you doing here while we're.
Okay, I'll take over for reading for Bazag then. These Jem'Hadar fighters have been turning up in the strangest places, Captain. I was called in to see if I could trigger the phenomena. My theory is that these ships were part of the Dominion fleet that was displaced by the so-called Prophets inside the Bajoran wormhole in 2374. These ships we've recovered are unmanned, but all exhibit an unusually high level of neutrinos consistent with conditions inside the wormhole. I've enlisted several Scree scientists. The Scree are native of the Gamma Quadrant who fled here during the war. They were almost as obsessed with the wormhole as the Bajorans, and their knowledge of Gamma Quadrant technology is invaluable. Should read Gamma.
Okay.
So the Scree are actually a one-off. Actually, I think they appeared in 2 episodes of DS9. So they had kind of a religion based around the wormhole, but from the other side of the wormhole's perspective.
That's interesting. I didn't recognize the name at first until you probably said it. Was it an episode of DS9 then? Cool.
Yes, yeah. And they were relocated to a Federation planet at the end after I think sort of abandoning some of their infatuation with the wormhole.
Mm-hmm. And I like the reference to the reason where the ships came from as well. They were the ones inside the Bajoran wormhole that was zapped by the Prophets.
Maybe that's worth a discussion, because I think most people who've entered an entry into this contest picked up on it, but I think that's pretty clearly the direction Cryptic's going with this, is that Sisko made a deal with the Prophets to get rid of an incoming fleet of Jem'Hadar ships, and actually, if you watch the Stoke thing, they pretty much gave it away when Stoke visited Cryptic.
Yeah, I remember seeing that cutscene preview where they kind of say that if you read the subtitles of the Prophets actually saying that. And there was a blog post, I think, by Brandon or someone who put it up. There was some kind of background.
I think it was Kestrel actually wrote the...
Yeah, it could have been Kestrel. It explains something like, these ships have started mysteriously appearing somewhere, blah, 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 before they appeared with the red boxes in the Winter Wonderland.
Right. Well, since we're waiting for our other host, I'll go ahead and go with what would the implications of this be. The Prophets were able to move an entire fleet, possibly across both space and time. If we can learn more about how they were able to accomplish that and replicate it, there would be limitless potential applications. The most immediate application is we could send the Undine back to fluidic space, and possibly even seal off all further contact between our dimensions. A 20th century Earth cosmologist named Tipler even hypothesized that if we could exert enough control over the position of matter in the universe, we could achieve a state of infinite time dilation, effectively making the universe immortal. A real thing. A lot of people think, Tipler was a very respected mathematician. A lot of people think he maybe was reaching a bit far with that, but he has this thing called omega point theory, and so I thought I'd throw in a reference to a real-world scientific theory there.
That's cool. I mean, they were asking in the chat room, is it a real person or a Trek person? It's a real person.
Yeah. It was about halting the big crunch by rearranging the matter in the universe to cause this time dilation feedback thing. But
I like when people do. I like when people do that. I like when people do that, relating sort of real world facts into it as well. I think last time I saw that was Ali Mac30 did that in the City of Polmar. He actually referenced the real WoW signal in as part of his mission. But let's get on with this. You requested my assistance. That's the short option. That was the one originally, wasn't it?
Yes.
So that was a way to skip the background story, which is kind of cool, because I know you said that you're trying to make it less obvious. As some people, they say skip this, on a button. Yeah, because I don't really like seeing skip this, making it obvious. I like it to be part of the thing. So yes, okay. If you can just read this, I'll check if Bazag's still on.
Sure. Okay. Yes, Captain. If my theories are correct, understanding how these Jem'Hadar ships were moved could give us an invaluable tactical advantage against the Undine. I've detected some subspace fluctuations above Tirak Nor, and I'm concerned that the Undine may be planning to stop my research. I need you to scan for any unusual activity and keep the Undine at bay if they decide to interfere in my work.
Okay, scan for subspace fluctuations. I think Zag just did that. Something's decloaking.
Yep.
Okay.
And
But
we
Zag
might
just
wanna help
closed. Cool. Yeah.
Alright. Oh wait, it's giving me the option to now, so there we go. That's a bridge officer dialogue. It's a little bit confusing for me because I actually base Javek on one of my bridge officers who keeps reporting to me.
So he looks the same as the guy. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read this one then. Captain, I'm
Okay.
detecting a strange energy signature consistent with the readings taken in fluidic space. The Undine seem to utilize the instability utilizing the instability of the space in this region as a means of crossing over. We should be on guard for anything suspicious. They could already be here.
Oh, yes, they are.
Oh yeah, there they are.
It's a bit difficult to see the actual missing tech when you're firing a scatter volley.
Oh, that's right. That's new
I
today,
haven't
right?
seen it yet. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So, is things missing? I can't see.
Yeah, they'd be more likely to miss us than actually miss them. Because we're, like, awesome.
I think that
The one
rig
thing-
is healing itself.
Yeah, that's the one thing
Yeah,
I don't like about those things.
Honestly, it's why I went a bit light on the space battles, because those Jem'Hadar, or those Undine, can be really frustrating, because you think you've got them, and then you don't.
Yeah, crazy scaling. I remember on Tribble there was some kind of weird bug where it was almost invincible to destroy the Undine in one of the low-level Klingon missions because they kept regenerating and spawning more ships. I wonder if they fixed that.
We have a situation
Yeah.
down here, Captain Spaulding. I detected several transporter signals from the Undine ships you engaged. I believe they're attempting to halt my research.
Okay,
Acknowledged. Captain, I can confirm Javek's findings. Several squads of Undine are headed to the planet. The transporter chief is standing by for an away team on your orders.
Let's beam down.
You know, I shopped the exchange to get an entire away team of Gorn. So, you know, the diplomatic
yeah,
Gorn, the
I
white
saw
Gorn.
I saw that in your trailer. You had like a whole team of Gorn. And I was like, how did you get that? Did you like send yourself all your diplomatic Gorns?
Yeah, well, basically, the white quality ones are not bound. So if you find them on the exchange, they're like 10 million EC apiece, but they you can have as many of the white quality ones as you want. It's the new purple ones that they introduced with the duty officer system that are unique.
Interesting. I haven't seen it. I didn't notice that. Actually, I haven't claimed my new purple one. I should do that.
Yeah, I haven't claimed my new one either.
I should have brought my Android. Those things scale like crazy.
Yeah, who do we talk to? Dr. Javek or Rivas first?
Either order, you know, probably Rivas first, just to...
Oh, I've noticed this screen research is just scanning in synchron.
Yeah, synchronized scanning of tricorders.
Yeah, I noticed that with a few of them. That's I give them a 8.5 out of 10 for their synchronized.
Okay, well, let's talk to Rivas. Captain Talar, is it? I've been Javak's assistant on this project for the past month. He doesn't share nearly enough of his data with me. I don't know what these Undine are supposed to be, but if you ask me, Javak is just paranoid. I'm not used to taking orders from another man. I'm sure my wife and her other 6 husbands are all back home laughing at me for taking this assignment. The shame of it all would be unbearable if this project wasn't designed to give us insight into the eye of the universe, or the Bajoran wormhole, as you call it.
Okay.
Yeah, they come from a matriarchal society. They have kind of bumpy skin. I modeled that with Saurian skin.
So, can you tell us if they look like the ones on the show? Because I can't remember anywhere.
On the show, they have kind of smoothed out noses slightly and bumpy skin. And they were from a matriarchal society where multiple husbands to a wife. So they look about as close as you can get. If we had something that just had like, I think their makeup was actually done with sand and like sand adhered to the face and then makeup over top of it. So scales were about as close as you could get.
Okay, and here's...
Captain, the Skree are not warriors, and I must admit my own training in hand-to-hand is a bit rusty. Research could end the war with the okay, I always have trouble with that word.
Undine. Yeah, that's what I say.
Undine. The research could end the war with the Undine. I have to complete my experiment. Please, hold the Undine at bay.
Okay, what exactly is the device that will protect you? Which one do you want, Bazak?
I'll do what exactly is this device?
Okay.
I've plotted the locations of the Jem'Hadar ships and determined that a tachyon pulse in this sector of space has a uniform 0.65 chance of breaking one of the Jem'Hadar ships free from subspace. I don't care much for odds like those, Captain, so I've retrofitted the station with a mix of gravimetric scanners wired to gambling devices based on the ones that were confiscated aboard DS9 in 2370. They alter the laws of probability in a localized region. Out of concern for my fellow engineers, it seemed wisest to trigger the tachyon pulse from here, as the magnitude of the probability distortion aboard the station could prove quite hazardous. When I fire the tachyon cannon through the probability distortion field, I estimate nearly a 45% chance that we'll manage to snag one of the Jem'Hadar ships. From there, I will be able to conduct close research on the ship to see if my theories hold true. And I'm going to go ahead and reveal a secret here. In order to avoid the continues, I included flavor dialogue. All 3 of these lead to the same next step, but it's a matter of what you think fits your captain.
Yeah,
Oh, right, so all 3 of these go to the same. Okay, cool.
I'd like to also point out something else with the 0.065% chance. That was a reference to something that was on the Stowe forums, wasn't it?
That's what people calculated the odds of getting a warship out of the Christmas box was.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
red box.
funny. Oh, that's funny. That's a pretty low chance. No wonder I never actually saw a red box. I ran that race hundreds of times. Well, not really, because there wasn't 100 days. But, you know, I never got a red box.
Right. Well, I think that was the odds of getting the red box, and that was the odds of getting it from the red box.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you had
getting
to get
the red
the
box from the
first.
race. Yeah.
You have to get a box first.
0.65% chance for the race, and another 0.655% chance to get the Jem'Hadar ship from the red box.
Yeah.
I kind of
Because
like the idea of Javek trying to stack the odds, because it's kind of what I'm doing when entering this into the podcast UGC contests.
Okay, let's click on one of these because they. Which one?
They
which
all-
one? They all go to the same thing, but which one should we pick? Oh well, I'll
Yeah,
pick.
well,
okay.
we're all finished, and now we've got fighting.
Okay, so these are the Undine.
Alright.
Oh, I'm glad I had my shotgun, because I thought I'd whip out a lurper or something. We had that problem last week, we only had
Oh.
lurpers.
That was a rather abrupt appearance by some of them. I think they must have jumped out of the wall. That's the one thing is they still have that pathing thing where if you try to box anything in, they'll pop around weird places sometimes. This whole area is boxed in, so
Yeah,
I see one of the bridge officers is
doing some strange stuff there.
Success, Captain. My scans indicate that a Jem'Hadar ship has materialized in orbit. Unfortunately, my sensors are offline for some reason. Odd. Nothing seems to be damaged in the attack. I recommend you take the Resistance, that's my ship, and secure the Jem'Hadar fighter before any more Undine arrive.
So this is another 3 choices which will mean nothing in terms of the actual progress of the story.
Right,
But,
I kind of
flavor.
based them on Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. I figured that just about anybody would use a combination of their attitudes.
It's a good idea. Because, yeah, they do
The
seem to fit.
The transporter chief is standing by to beam you and the away team back to the ship, Captain. Beam us up.
Beam us up.
I'll just grab my large shield charge while we beam up.
I'm just, yes, the cult of the tricolor goes back to synchronized scanning.
Oh yeah, them in the chat room saying some funny stuff. Just curious.
I wish there was a way to do offsets on that, you know? Or automatically offset, because if you're going to be seeing a group animation, then...
Yeah, so that you don't want them all synchronized all the time doing some strange thing.
I tried other animations that just came out even weirder, so that was...
I think I encountered that. I tried to film a set of NPCs running, and they were all doing exactly the same moves, the steps, but they were all synchronized while they were running. They looked really bizarre.
Well, and I'm going to make a note. I'm coming up on the ship. Bazag, Hav on podcast UGC didn't think that the ship was in the Foundry, but I managed to find it. I think it was under True Way or something like that.
Oh yeah, I can see something. Jem'Hadar captured fighter. And that is what it looks like, isn't it? It's a little bug ship.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was so small.
Yeah. Actually, I've seen a couple of them in game, and man, they look practically like a shuttle. I think that's why they don't come with an interior. They only come with like a bridge.
They're even smaller than my Defiant, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so shall we scan this thing? Scan the Jem'Hadar ship?
Sure.
Yeah, I suppose we should.
I've examined your scans of the Jem'Hadar vessel. There are a high concentration of neutrinos aboard the ship, but unlike the other Dominion ships, much like the other Dominion ships recovered, there are no life signs. Excellent, Captain. I'll prepare a boarding party immediately.
Acknowledged. Okay, Captain. I'll do this one because I haven't said anything. Captain, Captain, we're receiving a Priority 1 distress signal from a Bajoran merchant ship. They are on fire in close orbit of Machani Zeta 3. That is the nearby system, and we're likely to be the only ship in range to assist them. I'm gonna clear.
These actually do matter, but a little bit. I was going to say, actually, Mchani there, that's... I can't even tell you how I know that. That's Swahili for evening. I just thought the whole place looked kind of like it was perpetually at sunset, so... Oh, no, Swahili.
Swahili, wow.
Okay, well, we're being told to do... It's a trap!
Okay.
Okay, in honor of the other MMO that's out there right now.
I share your concerns, Captain. The Undine may be trying to divert us away from the Jem'Hadar ship we recovered in order to claim it for themselves. However, regulations require that we respond to a Priority 1 distress signal. This is one of the basic parameters of the Kobayashi Maru scenario, sir. Naturally, a captain does have the discretion to ignore a distress signal if they believe it will have a broader political implication for the Federation, such as embroiling us in a war. So is there an option to skip that then, or helm plot a course?
Yeah, basically, if you just want to go ahead and do it, you plot a course. You can get into a discussion of basically why you're justified in ignoring the distress signal, and that'll lead to a little back and forth with your crew where you get to make the case sort of Captain Kirk style for why you're going to ignore the distress signal to guard the ship. They both eventually lead to the same place, so we can just plot a course, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have an incoming hail from the Jem'Hadar ship. It's Javek, Captain.
Hello, Captain Spaulding. I believe you're getting a distress signal from a Bajoran ship in the Imchani Zeta 3 system, aren't you? We're getting it as well. I think the Undine are trying to lure you away, leaving my team defenseless. But there's one thing I doubt the Undine count on. The control interface headset on a Jem'Hadar ship is designed for a Vorta. It takes some creative adjustment for most other species. The Undine are likely counting on our ship being inoperative for quite some time. We have a proverbial ace up our sleeve, however.
These are the three.
How fortunate. Elaborate.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Or
That's the other
the, yeah.
I just clicked that one. How fortunate.
What the Undine probably don't know is that a Cardassian and Vorta physiology are extremely compatible, and that this interface has been effectively used by a few Cardassians before with no ill effects, providing they manage to keep their ship from blowing up. I can take this ship to warp and follow you to Imchani Zeta 3. Our weapons will be offline, but at least we'll be in close range of your ship if there's trouble. I trust you'll lend a hand if that happens. And actually, this is something that I could find nowhere on Memory Alpha. I actually looked up an episode transcription to make sure I had it right. I don't know if you remember, Garrick was able to pilot one of the ships, and so was Dukat. And they made just a little mention of it in one episode.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. I wonder why there wouldn't be any sort of references otherwise. Is it just Cardassians, or can anyone pilot?
Other people can, but they get headaches out of it. Cardassians, for some reason. Yeah.
I don't know. I keep thinking. I keep thinking I remember seeing Kira wearing one once, but I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure everybody did at some point. They made a big deal out of it in one episode, I think, as an excuse to get Garrick to pilot it for them, so that they could bring him along on a mission.
Okay. End transmission and set course.
Okay.
Warp.
Okay, we're approaching there now, and there's a warp effect. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll drop out of
All right.
warp. I'm already at warp, strange enough.
There we go.
Oh, and the
They're
ship's
off to
under attack. There you go. So I guess it was real.
Basically, I wanted to have one of those warp map transitions, but I also, you can't get rid of the Jem'Hadar ship once it's there, so they had to warp with you.
I'm seeing a lot more of these missions used like in-map warp transitions.
They gave us the tools to do it. I mean, just imagine what would happen if they gave us a few more tools like that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that more people should maybe try it, because it's a good way of getting around a map without loading another one.
And there actually is an optional dialogue buried in there about, isn't it dangerous to warp inside the Badlands?
Is it?
And I have a, that comes up if you do one of the extended options. Hey, it's the 25th century. We've surpassed that. So.
Okay, because I guess we haven't seen any of those funny swirly columns and things flying around the Badlands.
Right. Most excellent work. I must say, I'm impressed. I think I've nearly got our weapons ship, our weapons. I was about to do Chekhov there.
Chekhov.
Our weapon system's operational, and
Okay, cut
his
off.
transmission's cut off.
I require status update, or sigh. What now? Or status update. What happened to the Javak signal?
The last one is always the Shatner option. You know, I almost put the spaces in there, but
That's the one I'd say.
Status update. What happened to Javak's signal?
Okay, Captain, Dr. Javik's transmission seems to have been terminated abruptly at the source. Long-range sensors are picking up another ship on an intercept course with us. It appears to be a Starfleet vessel, sir. Registry indicates it is the USS Themis of the Judge Advocate General Corps. She is hailing us, sir.
I think just on screen.
yeah, they're all the
Yeah.
same there.
Because isn't that just dandy? That's funny. Aha, some dude.
Yes, do you want to do this, Gal, or shall I?
You do it.
Captain, I'm Inspector General Alfred Powell of the Judge Advocate General's office. You are hereby ordered to stand down and issued a summons to beam aboard the USS Thermos immediately for questioning. This is not a request. Dr. Javak has been taken into our custody and informed of his rights under Directive 101. You and your senior staff are all summoned to testify against him. I'll see you when you get over here. Powell out.
Directive 101. Is that
Directive
another calendar?
101 refers to regulations stipulating that an officer accused of murder cannot be compelled to testify against himself. It would appear that the good doctor has been accused of a most serious crime.
Oh. When did that happen?
I don't
You're
know.
about to find out.
Okay.
yeah, I
Fair
guess,
transport. Okay.
And actually, if you go back to the ship, the Themis is there. I just don't require you to go to it to beam aboard.
Yes.
McCoy option here is just once. I wish we had time to take a shuttle.
Okay, here we go.
And man, yeah, I really should have brought my android this time. I'll tell you, those things, they don't die.
Really?
I've
I
gone
haven't had
around
a
on
chance to
Elite
get one.
with them. They have super damage resistance buff, but you can't heal them with hypos. You have to heal them with engineer quick fix. And I think you can only bring them back using a special ability that works every 10 minutes. But you know, the trade-off is that they almost never die. If they do die, then you have
Cool.
to have an engineer fix them, or use their special ability.
I didn't know that. I hope they keep adding more kinds of varied bridge officers, because it's nice to have some ones that do different things.
Okay, this is Powell. The transporter chief and his staff should direct you to the bridge where we can talk more freely.
No transporter chief is present.
Odd. I'll send a security team to investigate. In the meantime, you'll find a turbo lift at the end of the hall. I apologize for how cramped the quarters are aboard the Themis, but when we underwent the Dreadnought refit, I had some custom modifications to make room for our extensive legal facilities. That meant space became a premium. I'll see you on the bridge.
We're en route.
He's probably asleep somewhere. And
Uh-oh. Do you want to do this one, Gal?
Okay, Captain, that sounded like an explosion in the transporter room. I suggest assessing the security situation aboard the ship before proceeding further.
with my luck, it's probably Klingons.
Oh, it's a bunch of dead people.
Dead Undine.
Captain Spaulding, I'm sorry for the rude welcome you've received. It seems several of the shape-shifting Undine infiltrators found their way aboard the ship and were in the Jeffries tube bus deck. They killed the transporter chief and sabotaged the turbo lift. My team managed to deal with them and disable the trap they set on the turbo lift. It's very unfortunate. It's very fortunate you didn't try to use that turbo lift, Captain. Someone doesn't want you to meet with Inspector General Powell, it seems.
Interesting. Why are they all wearing the ambassador outfit? Is that part of the Court General? What's it called?
Yeah, I decided to go with that. Everybody aboard this ship, aside from the absolute lowest junior officers, wear it.
Okay. It would seem.
And actually, this is a Starbase set because you can't put transporter rooms on a map. I would have actually had a fight here, but the area is just too cramped.
I think that was one of the excuses they made for giant interiors. It's because it's too cramped to really have fights on.
Yeah, and even with, as it's a custom, they probably would, fade through the walls or something.
Yeah, that's my experience. So I just, I had the security team take care of it for you.
And the lighting's pretty good in here, despite the walls. Usually when I put walls up, it's all shady and.
Yeah. You just have to kind of experiment with the different lighting options. That's probably one of the things I spend the longest on. You're going to see it in the courtroom set.
You use the fire
I really played around with
there. Did you use the fire effect, the campfire kind of effect that you used last time?
I used the fire effect. I used terminals with glows to them, because some of the terminals give off a colored glow.
Oh. Oh, there's a gassy bridge.
Well, this guy he wasn't right next to us.
Oh, I might need to move that spawn point out just a little bit. And interesting thing, all of these NPCs back there are supposed to be wandering. I've never figured out why I can't get them to wander, but...
Alright.
Wow, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I really wanted to convey that this is...
I'm just standing on the Judge Advocate General's head, don't mind me.
Yeah. I just decided to go with the idea that this is like one of the central legal hubs for Starfleet, so... And it just has a lot of, all the lawyers in Starfleet end up filtering through here.
There's a woman standing on a console.
Yeah, they have chairs by these consoles.
Yeah, she was wandering, and I guess she decided to stop there.
They don't have chairs on these consoles, I was just saying. So, is that like a conscious decision not to put a chair there because it's really hard to make them sit down, or?
Actually, if you think it's really hard to make people sit down, wait till we get to the next map.
All right.
Yes, I could see how much work. I played it before, and I could see how much. Yeah, I mean, there's about like 5 or 6 rows of.
Right. Actually, on these, it's because they're part of an NPC Federation enemy group, and if I made them sit, I'd have to make everyone in their group sit.
Oh right. Yeah, I understand now because all of them have to do the same animation, just like
Right. And I couldn't quite fit the others in the chairs, so.
Well, let's talk to Inspector General.
We just have a comment from the chat room. What's with the lamps on either side of the bridge?
I figured I just wanted it to look a little bit custom. A little bit more, honestly, this bridge is so oversized that I wanted to fill floor space.
Yeah.
So.
And this isn't even one of the biggest bridges. There's a blue bridge that's really, really spacious. Empty.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't bother me as much with the cryptic design ones. Oh. With the cryptic design ones, at least they're they fill out the floor space with things. But with the Galaxy, it's like a. I feel like putting a stage in there or something. I may do that in a.
Now I got an idea. Okay, Bazag, do you want to read Inspector General's thing as you've been talking to me?
Hello, Captain. I wish the circumstances were better. We received a very troubling report about Dr. Javek's activities here several hours ago. I regret not getting here sooner. I was the one who authorized his acquisition of nearly 10,000 artificial probability generators off the black market for his work, and I have to say that I remain dubious of his theories.
What is he accused of?
Dr. Javek is accused of killing a Bajoran scientist who was working with him on the project. The victim's name was Tolan Banu. Dr. Ravas, the screen scientist you met earlier, claims that Dr. Javek is a traitor working for the True Way to undermine the Federation interests in the sector, and his real purpose in acquiring the warship was to give a group of True Way insurgents access to Lost Dominion technology.
What is this, a modern-day Salem witch trial?
Surely
It seems that the
relationships
warships they had back then were built quite a bit sturdier than modern Dominion technology, and that some crucial technology was lost in the war. What's strange is that Dr. Ravas claims that you were a material witness to the death of Tolambanu during the attack on the facility. Well, Javek is asking for you to act as his legal representative. Do you recall anything about meeting a Tolambanu?
I don't.
So
Unless
shall
I was
we
Dean. Should we do
Zach?
this or no?
Chronoton says yes, but I think he's
Chronoton
screwing with.
Okay. So whatever you want to say.
I'm going to say no because I better answer truthfully.
Nobody else does either. For such a supposedly important scientist, he has almost no paper trail. It's as if his very existence was forged. Granted, the data rods Dr. Ravas supplied seem to hold up. Still, with Undine looking everywhere, I'd appreciate it if you'd investigate.
Okay, three
Okay.
options. They seem like different options.
They're actually the
So-
same.
Oh, they're actually the same.
Yeah.
What exactly are you proposing? How am I tangled up in this? And I take it my services have been requested somehow. That's a pretty good way of three ways of asking the same thing.
Captain, I'd appreciate if you'd be prepared to defend Javek in court. He's absolutely insisting that you're the only one who can clear his name. Ordinarily, I'd be reluctant to have you as his legal counsel, since you're also allegedly a material witness. But these are strange times we live in.
That's convenient.
Right.
Now-
We just go back out the same way we came in. Or which one was it?
I like consistency.
It would seem that the proverbial deck is stacked against us if Dr. Ravas's evidence holds up. Still, there was no Bajoran researcher. I was there with you. Ravas must be lying. The trick is to prove it.
Let's go to deck 11. I'm just curious, are we going to see a warp core or something? Because is engineering on deck 11? It was on Voyager. I don't know about Galaxy.
Actually, it's an interesting point. I know it was holodeck on a Galaxy class, because I used it in another mission.
Well,
This is
I have to
actually-
say, I'm not all that up on just what's where on stuff.
Yeah, honestly. It could be anywhere, you know, you never know.
Well,
They have
you
to
know,
have chaos.
honestly, it's not the sort of thing I used to memorize, but since the Foundry came out, I start reading up on this stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how random Trek facts seem to stick in your head when you're playing it so much.
Okay, so proceed with research.
I bet this confuses some people, because I should say proceed to the hallway.
Oh, and guy is a UGC contact.
Right. Well,
Probably
actually,
should
I ran out of costumes on this mission, so.
But he hasn't been named, so.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well, that's what to make a note about.
Click on it.
I think he's probably the last one I would have missed.
Hmm.
Do you want to do this one, Gal?
I'll read this one. Captain, I have to ask that any commanding officers proceed from this point forward. Any bridge officers you have with you could prove to be valuable additions to security here, but given the sensitive nature of the proceedings, only dignitaries and Themis personnel will be allowed to proceed. Click on the downward pointing arrow on your bridge officer controls, located on your bridge officer health bars. Yeah, that's good actually, because some people might not know, how to control your bridge officers. Which I don't have any, so I don't need to do that.
Okay.
I always seem to like the McCoy ones. Far be it from me to contradict the surly Klingon.
I've noticed that you've got to really spell out things like how to set your bridge officer waypoints to some people, because I put at the beginning of one of my mission, what was it? Press V to scan for things, and someone must just skip that because they were a 1-star and said, I couldn't find a thing, but I told you exactly how to find it. Yeah.
Right.
And it's a pretty standard thing to press V for, scanning things.
Okay, well, Captain Talar, you want to do some research before we begin. I recognize that you're not being given much time for discovery. Yoshi-Al Salmond, the prosecutor in this case, is at a similar disadvantage. Unfortunately, the constant undying interference isn't going to allow for a very conventional court-martial proceeding. Other judges might not have considered there to be enough evidence to indict Dr. Jabba. But this is a war, Captain, and we don't have time for that kind of caution. You'll find the computers in the jury deliberation room across the hall. We'll get you up to speed on the evidence we've gathered, and the screen researchers are in holding the next cell down, although they won't be very helpful in their present state.
Okay, is this where we get to see the courtroom thing that we saw in the trailer and in the bite size?
Yeah, after you do the research. So, here's the across the hall. This is the evidence researching terminal.
Let's click on that. It's a lot of research.
Yeah, and I'll summarize.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's always an option to go back.
That's good.
But yeah, Dr. Javik is a he's a Cardassian Starfleet officer. He's been reprimanded for his lack of regard for Bajoran crewmates' religious beliefs. He's a pioneer in the field of deflector shield technology, research and development. And basically, I reiterate what I said before. I'm kind of saying that he's the guy who relocated K7 to be in orbit of Sherman's planet, and that he relocated the Cardassian station to be here. Since K7 wasn't in orbit of a planet in the original series.
Really? It wasn't in orbit of a planet in the original series?
It was a couple days away. And if you look at all the shots, there's no planet visible. They didn't even do it in the remastered.
That's interesting. I do remember them saying Sherman's planet, though.
Yeah. It was close. It just wasn't in orbit.
That could be like DS9 then. It was in orbit, and now it's not in orbit.
Yeah.
They moved DS9.
If you want to click on the personnel file for Yoshi-Al Salmond, if you still got it up, he's a liberated Borg defense attorney, who is basically Pal, the Judge Advocate General, is his personal legal mentor. Pal's security file is classified. You can't access it. The sworn witness testimony. The screen researcher who we talked to earlier has issued a sworn deposition saying that Dr. Javik killed the Bajoran in plain sight of us. that when we went down to the planet, Dr. Javik just straight out killed a Bajoran in front of us. Let's see.
Don't remember seeing that.
No, that's the
Yeah.
that's the intriguing part. Let's see. Access another file. Yeah, there is a optolithic data rod which contains sensor records confirming that Davak killed a Bajoran right in front of us. And are there any signs of tampering? PAL waived all requirements for testing on the grounds that optolithic data rods are known to be nearly impossible to counterfeit. And down under expert test.
Is that
What's
a real
that?
thing from the show? An optolithic data rod?
Yeah, oh gosh, in the Pale Moonlight episode
The one where he
with
goes, it's a
Garrett.
fake. Yeah. Yeah. I
The
remember.
one where they counterfeit an with data rod.
It's a fake!
It's a fake. I love
Yeah.
that.
One comment here, Leviathan. In the service record for the lawyer, you've got he's a defense lawyer, but he's the if I'm not, okay, he's a finest if I'm not. Okay, never mind. I'm just
Okay. Yeah. And there's a deposition supposedly lodged by Miles O'Brien saying that Javik's theories are all hogwash and that engineers have been approached by the True Way to get their hands on one of these ships. But when you try to access the testimony, you find it's been classified. And that's...
Can't see his face.
Oh, yeah, and there were some Bajoran prayer beads found at the scene.
Then my first suspect would be Bazag.
yeah, but I'm a
Always.
Bajoran. Oh, okay, that's why. Okay, gotcha. Yes, I
And,
did it. I just didn't do it in front of you.
Or J-Man, you know, Jeremy. And this is a really tight space. You'd never get bridge officers in here.
Do I know
Um,
you? I'm not trying to be funny. Okay, introduce yourself.
Okay. I mean, I can summarize this one if you want. Basically, all of their minds have been wiped, and they're refusing medical treatment on religious grounds.
That's interesting.
And
Mind
but they
being wiped.
believe Dr. Revis is telling the truth because that's what they told him, and they don't believe.
They
Don't
just
have
believe
any
it. You know?
Yes.
Okay, you might want to think twice about that.
Are you almost ready? Court is about to begin session. Constable Raw will need to swear you in as an officer of the court.
Okay, so
Alright.
let's go get sworn in.
The legal
Ooh,
team here.
okay.
It's one thing. It's a little bit weird with a team of people, but we're all right.
Just gonna take a look around the room. Here's a pen.
Absolutely.
Yes, as you can see by looking at the audience there's like 5
Chairs.
rows by 6 on each section, and there's just, you know,
So how
huge
long did
amount
it
of
take
people.
you? How long did it take you to arrange all that?
Quite a while. I mean, this has been a set that I've been working on for different things for a while, so.
Okay, so there's the guy in the middle.
Yeah.
Do we have to get sworn in, like he said? Or
Let me see.
I'll read this
Yeah.
one out. The first
Oh.
duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether scientific truth, historical truth, or personal truth. It is the guiding principle on which Starfleet is based. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
okay, I do. Oh, a nice salute.
I don't, so I can lie.
Yeah, you guys didn't get to do it. Oh well, you can lie.
Very well. Take your place at the defense terminal.
That's a continue I missed. Okay. I was trying to get rid of those because
Yeah, I like to get rid of them as well. It's more of a sort of... You can customize them, so why not customize them?
Computer, note that the stardate is 86605.7. Following our recent change in personnel aboard the Thermos, our captain was also sworn as an officer of the court and accepted the duty of serving as defense counsel in the court-martial proceeding for Dr. Javak. Computer, please add Tala to the Thermos senior staff for the duration of these proceedings, as I have instructed. As this is a fact-finding inquiry, I've waived both counsel's rights to opening statements. We are ready to hear the defense's plea. Advocate Tala, are you prepared to enter a plea? Yeah, you need to put a space in.
You prepared.
these are actually different. So.
Okay, so which one should... most irregular, allow me to confer with my client, or... well, I guess yes, because I am prepared.
Okay.
Guilty
okay.
or not guilty?
I know what I do just because I'm evil.
You want to plead guilty?
Because you're evil. Okay,
it's not going to end the mission or anything.
Okay, let's try
guilty.
that just to see what happens, because I doubt that maybe Captain P.F. Dennis plays on that.
Captain, what are you doing?
That's so funny. I like the new
Are you
facial
trying
animations
to
they have.
make a point here? Computer, strike that from the record. Advocate Tala, please enter your plea.
Not guilty.
In order to expedite matters, I suggest the prosecution call it first witness.
If it pleases the court, I call to the stand Dr. Ravas!
I realize it is short notice, Tala, but rest assured, the defense will have an opportunity to cross-examine the witness thoroughly.
Understood. No, this guy has a really weird face.
Yeah, I've been trying to go to town a little bit with alien customization lately. I actually managed to sort of create something that looks like Ninja Turtles, or Hero Turtles over there.
Wow. Okay.
Chronotron suggests that the charges are no doubt faked by the Undyne Judge Advocate Imposter. So he thinks that the Captain the Powell is an imposter.
You never know. We'll find out soon. So, Dr.
Gal, do you want to read this one out?
Dr. Ravas, do you swear to the best of your ability to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony today?
I do.
So
Dr. Ravas, please relate the events of Stardate 86605.5 for the court.
Maybe Bazak should read that.
Okay.
I was working at my station along with Dr. Tolan when Dr. Javert approached us both. He claimed that Dr. Tolan was not fit to bear witness to his great triumph.
And what great triumph would that be, Dr. Ravas?
The recovery of the Jem'Hadar ship. Dr. Javak said they'd been appearing all around the sector. His theory was that they'd been displaced from a fleet Dominion ship lost in the wormhole during the Dominion War. He'd always said if we understood how they were transported, it might give us a tactical advantage against the Undyne.
He said it might give a tactical advantage against the Undyne. A tactical advantage against the Undyne. But that's not what he said on the Stardate in question, is it?
Objection or ...
I'm not sure what ... Would that be like a silence?
So it's just let him continue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whichever.
Oh, I clicked continue. Oh, there's ... I thought that's what you said.
He said that the advantage against the Undyne was a lie. He said that his plan was to discover how to force these ships to materialize so that he could build a fleet.
A fleet for who exactly?
Do you just want to click objection because it's fun to scream objection?
Objection! This...
Which did you pick?
We clicked objection.
Okay. This goes to motive, Your Honor. I'll allow it. Objection overruled.
Oh.
Though if you did the first one, the objection actually worked.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I figured, there'd be people that would just want to say objection a lot.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one in the chat said it. Oh, yeah. Console said it. There you go. Objection.
I'll allow it. Objection overruled.
Uh-huh.
He said he was building a fleet for the true way. He said he wanted to restore Cardassia to its former glory. Then he strangled Tolan Banu and left him dead at my feet. He told me I had to cooperate, and then his true way thugs attacked us and the Starfleet away team while Dr. Javak materialized the ship. Javak performed a memory wipe on the rest of the crew, but I escaped and contacted Inspector General Powell. I had already had deep concerns with how secretive Javak was being, how he didn't share all of his research with me or Tolan. I don't understand why we are defending him. He witnessed the murder.
Do you have any evidence of this, Dr. Rivas?
The entire attack was captured by the station sensors. I backed up a copy to an optoelectric data rod. It's impossible to forge those. Not that I need to.
Or objection. Because you can forge them. Which one do you want to pick? Because someone in the chat room asked, is there a penalty for clicking objection too many times?
You get into kind of an argument with the judge.
But it's kind of hard to program in, penalties and the...
Right, yeah. I mean, I made you leave your bridge officers behind. There's not a fight on this map.
Mm-hmm. It would be funny if there was.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that has
should
to
we
be
click
it.
objection
Should be
or
a
not?
chance.
Oh, did you click on that?
Let's just move on.
Okay.
Okay.
The prosecution would like to enter evidence Exhibit B, one opolithic data rod containing the station sender logs of the crime.
Does the prosecution have any further questions for Dr. Ravas?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Very well, then. The defense may proceed with cross-examination. Your witness. Please approach the bench and begin questioning. Oh, we got to go and talk to this
We gotta go
console.
bench.
The console is also labeled Dr. Ravas.
I wanted to keep some options open on this map for more complicated stuff, so that's why I diverted it, and also thought it looked better with the exclamation point over the console.
So is this one of those costume consoles that you can use in a foundry?
Yeah, one of those ones that I hope they don't remove or it will break just
Yeah.
about everything I've ever done.
Hopefully they don't. I had someone say, oops, they weren't supposed to be in there, but why are they in there then?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
so you
let's ask... Oh, go on.
just pick a question, I guess, yeah.
Okay, yeah. We're getting suggestions in the chat room for how long have we known... has he known Dr. Javak?
Okay, let's go with the chat room. How long have you known Dr. Javak?
Do you want to do this one, Gail?
Sure. Several months. He always spoke very highly of Cardassia. I think he was jealous of Dr. Tolan, frankly.
What do you claim to have seen
Yeah.
my client do, or why are there no records of Dr. Tolan?
I think we should do the bottom one, shall we?
Yeah, I'm curious. Why are there no records? He was a very private person, Captain. I can't explain any more than that. Bajoran psychology is outside my realm of expertise. But Bazak should know.
A little, a little too convenient, don't you think? I'm going to do that.
Objection! Badgering the witness.
Oh, he sustained it.
Sustained. Please pursue a different line of questioning.
Which option? You are not.
And I'll go ahead and tell you, basically. Yeah, go ahead.
This is slightly odd considering we can ask, you're not aware of one ever being forged when we haven't even said anything about the ophthalmic data rod.
I think that one wound up in the, I included that in one document.
Okay, do you want to go with that anyway, or just do very well, Your Honor?
I'll go ahead and spoil something. The entire point of this map is basically to get through the questioning. So if you say no further questions, it proceeds.
Okay, let's go. No further questions.
I figured it's really hard to do a puzzle like that. So really, the point of the puzzle is just to find a pathway through the questioning.
Well, you could probably do it if you somehow made it a map dialogue and use contact dialogue prompt triggers to.
Right. The only problem is you can't hide dialogue prompts in a required dialogue. It would have to be an optional dialogue to do that.
Oh, right, because otherwise, so if it's a required dialogue, then all of them show up and you can't hide them because otherwise you can complete something.
Well,
I think I've tried
you can do it if it's objective-based.
Right.
I did that with my
objective-based and had like some sort of hidden trigger somewhere that, it would be possible. I honestly figured that this is as late into the mission as what it is. I didn't want to force people to spend 2 hours doing dialogue. If I'd started the mission with a trial, that probably would have made the trial a little bit more elaborate. But yeah,
let's continue on with Inspector Powell. The ophthalmic data rod seems to be at the center of this testimony. The defense deserves a chance to examine the evidence. The court will convene a short recess, which myself, Dr. Zhevek, the defense team, and the away team under Talar's command will report to the nearest holodeck, where, using the data on the ophthalmic data rod, we will restage a recreation of the alleged crime.
Cool. I like holodecks.
Yeah. I'm eager to test this.
Yeah. Yes,
you like
holodeck. I wonder how it malfunctioned today.
Yeah, I'm going to do that one.
The prosecutor, Yoshi Asaman, has other matters to attend to, at my personal request, and will be able to view our reconstruction of events before we reconvene. Captain, please use the turbolift to your left when you're ready and report directly to Holodeck 3. Your away team has been briefed to join you there. Dr. Zhevek and myself will take a security escort and meet you there.
I assume it means that turbo lift over there. I can't tell because I'm actually facing the wrong way, so my left is the other way.
Oh.
Yeah, well, what I do is I just go towards the circle that's...
Get towards the red door.
Alright.
Captain, we've been informed to meet you on and Holodeck 3. At Holodeck. I guess we're en route now.
Accept. So we're taking a short recess. I I guess it would be a good time to play the bite-sized UGC we've got.
Yep, that's probably about a good time. We're getting fairly close. Well, we're more than
Close to
halfway
the
through.
ending? Cool. So I'm just going to play that. This is episode 13 of Bite Size UGC. You've seen episode 14 already, but this week you're getting a double dose. So this is, I think it's called A Warrior's Honor by Joe King. So here we go.
Welcome to episode 13 of Bite Size UGC, your destination for 3-minute STO Foundry mission reviews. I'm Captain P.F. Dennis, and with me as always is Rogue Enterprise. This week we take a look at A Warrior's Honor by first-time author Joe King. Let's see how Joe did with the mission.
The plot in this mission has you chasing after a missing Starfleet ship and taking out a good number of Orions along the way. It's a pretty generic setup, one that's commonly used as a plot device to start up missions. It was reminiscent of a cryptic patrol mission on steroids.
The pursuit of the Klingon mastermind behind the plot is interesting enough, but we managed to pick up a few plot holes that need looking at. Example, you can't say that the sensors are inoperable and still detect life signs aboard another ship. We also felt that the whole mission was maybe a map or two too long. Still, for a first effort, it's a nice attempt. Story scored 2.5 out of 5 stars.
Conversely, the map design in this mission was very impressive, especially considering the author's experience level. Most of the interior stages are of custom design and elaborately detailed, which definitely wowed us. Unfortunately, there was a ground map setting portion of the story in the middle of a major dust storm, one of the weather features less than ideal for a combat-heavy map, but we only took off 1 star for that. We gave map design 4 out of 5 stars.
Moving on to Foundry Tech. We didn't see a lot of creative use of Foundry tricks here, but almost everything we encountered was solid and stable. We did notice that most ground NPCs were set to wander a little too quickly, which is a pretty common rookie mistake, but it's easy to correct. We gave Tech 3 out of 5 stars.
Difficulty was a little bit of a mixed bag. Space combat was fun and manageable, but make no mistake, there is a ton of ground combat in this mission, most of which is against groups of Klingons that aren't afraid to stab you to death with their bat'leths. Sword Masters and Dahar Masters are plentiful here, so don't go in thinking it's going to be a cakewalk. A little bit of playtesting and adjustment to be a bit on the easier side would have been helpful. We gave difficulty 2.5 out of 5 stars.
And here's the bite-sized breakdown for this mission. A Warrior's Honor is an excellent attempt at a first mission and has real potential in map design, but is bogged down with a few beginner's mistakes that could be looked at and easily corrected. It's worth playing, so log on to STO and give it a try for yourself.
Until next time, this has been Bite Size UGC.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to Broadcast UGC. And we have just arrived on a holodeck. There was actually a holodeck here, and while you were gone, the program started. So, yeah, you'll have to play the mission yourself to see the nice transition effect they have in there. That's the first time I've actually seen it, I think, in a mission.
It's the holodeck fade out. Yeah.
The holodeck fade out that people have seen before in. I think there was a dev who showed us on a video.
Actually, if you guys ever do, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it was one of the devs I think did a video. I can't remember who it was.
I think it was Mapolis, because he's the one that did it.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was Mapolis.
So that was pretty cool. Well, you start off in a holodeck, which is a box you place, isn't it? Some kind of object, a huge object.
Right.
And
there are actually 3 different holodecks. One of them's a fade in, one's a fade out, and one's a solid object. But if you try to spawn the solid object on top of people, they bug out.
Yes, yeah, because they put in some kind of pathing prevention to stop people from getting trapped outside places or inside places. I think we mentioned it last week, how you can stick a bridge officer outside the map because they just pop back in again now. Oh, and there you are. You've just appeared on the holodeck. And it looks like Bazag's bridge officer over there is having a fun time on the...
Yeah. Nero, come over here.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. And let's read what Captain Powell has to say, shall we?
I'm sorry.
Captain,
Suggest that we begin the
I
program.
suggest... Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain, I suggest begin the recording immediately. This will recreate your earlier encounter at the research facility, or at least Revas' account of it on his data road. We don't have much time, and we're being watched closely.
Very well. See, now this is...
Very well?
Yeah, I just clicked very well because I'm looking around the map. Because I didn't get to comment on it the first time I saw it. This is a recreation of it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Very detailed stuff going on here. The buildings. I always like the maps you've done on these missions. I remember last time on Yesterday is Tomorrow, all the maps on that were pretty intricate as well.
And actually, I had to build this one backwards to fit the holodeck.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty hard to fit in. Because that requires a big open flat space, doesn't it? Because otherwise you'd see things poking through the floor. And so what map did you use for this then? Flat space?
It's an outdoor map that I put down a foundation block for.
So we're slightly above the ground level then?
Just very slightly. This is almost right at ground level, actually. This is, I think, Arctic clearing.
Cool. Oh, there's a dead body here. I don't remember seeing that the first time.
Also, there's like various teams of synchronized tricorder scans going on. Like almost like they're in a competition.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
It's going to do holodeck Dr. Javek.
He looks
I've been
like
doing regular
different.
Javek. You mind if I... Let's see. You fools won't interrupt my progress. The Alpha Quadrant will tremble before the true way. I've infiltrated Starfleet these long years, gathering your secrets, delicious secrets. I will have my Jem'Hadar warship the first of an armada. Bajor will burn, the weak shall perish. The sweet nectar of victory is within my grasp.
Delicious secrets.
Computer, freeze program. This is absurd. Even if the data rod checks out, this is nothing more than a bad holo novel. I would never go out in public looking like that. They even got my uniform wrong. Captain, please tell Inspector General Powell that I do not talk like this.
Dr. Javek, your career is on the line. The fate of 2 quadrants is in question, and you're honestly concerned with the quality of the dialogue and costuming in this recording?
With all due respect, Inspector General, style is everything, especially in dire times. Why does Starfleet allow its captains to roam about with untidy salots everywhere? Why does the Starfleet Corps of Engineers produce modern ships that resemble 200-year-old Constitution-class vessels? I'll tell you why. Because how we conduct ourselves in dire moments reveals our character. Without our vanity in moments of peril, we're no better than savage targs. If I conducted myself like this amateur photonic thespian, I'd turn myself in and beg for you to lock me away for the rest of my days.
Wow.
Yeah. I always like the dialogue.
So noted. Computer, resume programming.
Now, face the wrath of my death squads, you kowtowing compliant cretins.
Okay.
Death
Come back
Squad.
through a...
Oh. Man, those Cardassians go hard. I think they've been updated for the next series.
Well, I'm dead.
Yes, so am I.
Should have
Nero's
activated
about that too. Yes.
nano
Wow,
probes.
I should probably just remove one of these groups. I've played it before, but I had my android with me, and he took the brunt.
Yep. Whoa, grenade impact.
Oh,
And
politics
holodeck-
just flushed out again.
I think it's the guys with the grenades that were really causing the issues.
I like seeing that holodeck thing. Is
Yeah,
that
you just
Nero, where are you? Oh, there you are.
and actually in the first map, I don't think we looked at it, but the it doesn't do that in this map. But the big device in the middle fires up and shoots an energy beam way off into the sky.
Wow.
It doesn't do it in the recreation. It does in the original though. Yeah, it's
So
in the
that's
trailer.
something- Yeah, that's something for people to look out for when they play that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, holodeck's back.
The tricorder cult is still there.
So how are you getting the holodeck to appear and reappear? Is that
There-
like
there's
just
an
loads of
object that
triggers,
just
right?
causes it to fade in, and one that causes it to fade out.
But it's
And
been
it's an
doing.
object that you can remove and add.
But I've been seeing it sort of like intermittently fading in and out. Is it because you set multiple fade in and fade
That's
out?
the one that causes it to fade out. I just placed multiple fade out holodecks every time
Right.
a group of enemies was defeated.
That's good. I like that. It's like a dodgy holodeck appear.
Yeah, there we go. Let's talk to the real Dr. Javak.
It's nice to know Starfleet think enough of my research to use me as bait for the Undine. Perhaps I should design a superior warp core so they can give it to the Klingons for target practice.
So
I'm getting the feeling there was a dialogue that we didn't
Oh,
trigger before.
I had it. It was the Inspector
Okay.
General, but I guess you must have skipped that one.
Yeah, I must have somehow. Yeah, the Inspector General says that he thought Dr. Ravas was an Undine, and he was waiting for them to ambush us, and they did by turning off the safeties on the holodeck.
Well, interesting.
So we shall attempt to preserve the work, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, so we're meant to actually talk to the inspector first, because it seems that
Yeah, I should have I allowed both of them to be done in either order when it really should have been Inspector first.
apologies, Captain, and my deepest apologies to Dr. Javak. The truth is, the Themis has had trouble with Undine infiltrators for weeks. They seem to have figured out that taking over our legal system will give them a strategic foothold. When Reves contacted me offering an utterly implausible account of Javak defecting to the True Way and that data rod, I realized that the Undine would go to anything to keep Starfleet from getting its hands on these mysterious Jem'Hadar ships that have been appearing. I knew there were as many as 20 Undine infiltrators aboard my ship, but playing along until they had a reason to expose themselves and take over the ship was my best bet. Dr. Javak's research was a perfect bait, and now we can root the infiltrators out and recover the Jem'Hadar ship if we act fast.
About that data rod.
Obsolete data,
Go ahead.
obsolete data rods are nearly impossible to forge, but I had several crew I suspected of being Undine that had been in touch with some of the screen researchers for several days, and I know where Javak's loyalties lie.
It's a fake!
It's real. However, the person in the recording wasn't Dr. Javak. My theory is that the Undine disguised themselves as Dr. Javak and the research team several weeks ago and recorded this as part of the ploy to discredit Javak and seize the Jem'Hadar ship for themselves.
Oh, so they recorded themselves. That's cool.
So what does it
yeah,
mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you may have noticed that we're locked in here. Like I say, I suspect one of the Undying, possibly Ravas himself, has taken my place and seized control of this ship. There's one thing I doubt they counted on. You.
What does that mean?
I don't suppose you noticed that I reassigned you to the Themis, did you? I didn't just enter you as a defense counsel in the system, however. I appointed you as chief medical officer and first officer in the system. Had to classify my own personnel file to avoid raising suspicion.
Well, my training is medicine, so I'm going to click as it happens. I'm a competent doctor.
I know. However, I did not appoint you for your medical expertise. No offense. A CMO can declare the captain unfit for command, overriding computer command codes. Since you're the CMO and my first officer, all you have to do is say the word, and the computer will recognize you as commanding officer of the Themis, allowing us to get out of here and reclaim the bridge. Well, yeah, Doctor, what do you say? Am I fit for duty?
Yep.
I don't think we have anybody who can do a Majel Barrett.
Yeah, we should have Terry on here. Yeah. One of these podcasts.
Yeah, it's asking you, do you wish to confirm? Remove Admiral Powell from command. Confirm. Inspector General Alfred Powell has been removed from command. You're now in command of the ship.
Cool.
Harriet in the chat room said this. Note to Undyne. Kidnap, impersonate every chief medical officer.
Yeah. That's probably what they're going to do now.
Inspector General Alfred has now been relieved of command. We are now in command, all three of us. Yay! Great. Now I'd suggest making your way to the bridge. I regret having to leave my apprentice, our Samand, in the dark about this, but I have a feeling he's one step ahead of us and has probably made his way there already to confront the Undying saboteurs.
Good luck, Captain, or should I say Doctor. I have faith in you, really. I have no choice but to have faith in you, I suppose, because the alternative at this point is learning to speak Undine in anticipation of our new overlords, and I never was very good at learning new languages.
I, for one, would welcome our new Undine overlords.
Yeah, I know one on the forums.
Sutherland in the forums.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. He's always like, Undine for like, I can't remember what the phrase is. Something like, Undine overlords. So, I accepted. We're going to go to the bridge. Oh, there we go. We clicked it.
And actually, if you want to see a lot of use of that holodeck, my first Foundry mission on holodeck was Currents Turned Awry, and I built a set piece around going down a hallway to a holodeck that turns into Kronos.
Gee, was it the old Cronus or the new Cronus?
It's the old one. I put together the pieces of the case and examined the testimony. Dr. Ravas, it was you who framed Dr. Javek. Or should I say, okay, I have no clue what your real name is. No scientific truth, no historical truth, no personal truth. It's time to pay for your crimes. There we go. And they killed him. Yeah, like, I used invisible walls to keep them from attacking him while he does his speech. He's a little bit maybe based on the Ace Attorney games. I don't know if you're familiar with those. There was the big objection meme on the internet.
I just killed Dr. Ravas.
Yeah.
And this one's got actual sparking consoles. I was so pleased I could line that up.
Cool. Are we still attacking
Okay.
someone? Hello, Captain. This is Chief Engineer Edwin McGuinness. We lost contact with the bridge for a while. We are on a collision course with the Jem'Hadar vessel. If you happen to value my life, or yours for that matter, I need you to restore control access to main engineering at one of the consoles up there. It'll take us giving her all she's got, but I think we can squeeze by. Probably could have done a Scottish accent for that, but I can't.
Yeah. I could try to do a little bit of a Scottish accent, but I'd probably do more of a low talking voice.
We should get several films on here to do that.
Yeah.
Chronton's being mean. He says, "Yay, the rogue lawyer is dead."
Is he?
Yes. He died.
Oh, he died. Oh. Is he supposed to die?
I had that worked out where it was required that he die at one point, and I made it so it's possible to save him. Because, I figured some people would get bummed about that, so.
Interesting. So, which of these options is clickable?
They all are. It's just Kirk, Spock, McCoy.
We'll go.
There we go.
That seems to have done the trick, and not a moment too soon. If you can see Inspector Powell up there, tell him he owes me a new kilt.
You know what? It's never a moment too soon.
Yeah. Oh, and you got two goals.
So we've got to return back to him. Good work, Captain. Now, if you'll join me on deck 11, I believe we have a trial to finish.
Trial? This isn't the Salem, it's the Inquisition.
This seems most unnecessary.
Load screen.
So you say it was optional to save the lawyer, so he doesn't appear on this map then, either way.
No, he doesn't appear on the next one at all.
Because I wish they had, states that you could save between maps just to, it doesn't have to be permanent. They're probably worried about, Foundry space or something like that. But it can just be, something during the mission that a variable that says, this guy's alive, can you appear on the next map, that kind of thing. That was my wish for the Foundry.
Well, from what I understand, you'd have to actually be able to save information to the character database to
it would take, I think basically, I think the way they do that is there's an accolade that you earn that flips on your character.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they only do that in the game.
I'll do Inspector General Powell then. The jury has been briefed regarding the events that transpired today, and while the verdict in the court-martial against Dr. Jevek might seem like a mere formality, in the light of the fact that the trial itself was an elaborate show on my part, well, a good man reminded me today that it is through our ceremonies, our rituals, and even our vanities that we show our resolve in difficult times. By the authority granted to me by this court as Starfleet Command and the Federation Council, all charges are formally dismissed. As for one other piece of business, Captains, will you and your fellow officers please stand before the court?
There's a firing squad hidden somewhere.
For your meritorious conduct above and beyond the call of duty, for your relentless pursuit of justice, for your work to expose and defeat Undyne saboteurs, and for your work in saving the Jem'Hadar ship and Dr. Jevek's research on it from destruction in the face of said saboteurs, who believed, as I now believe, that we may yet make scientific discoveries from analyzing it that may end this war. for saving the lives of every person in this courtroom. I'm proud to award you with a special commendation. I think I would prefer the firing squad.
Captain, we've received an incoming... Captain, we've received an incoming transmission. There's a distress call 2 sectors over. A Terran Empire enemy signal contact has been sighted, and the ship is ready to beam you back aboard to proceed on your orders. Gentlemen, ladies, it's been fun.
Yeah, I finally got the Kirk pauses in.
Go ahead, Captain. I'm sure you have any number of duties to attend to in this sector. Just one more thing before you go. Could you possibly find it in your heart to give me the back command of my ship?
So which one do you pick? Go on, Bizarre, you pick one of those.
I did. I declared him fit for duty right away last time. So when I first played it, so I think I'll do the bottom one this time. I will think about it. It could take a while.
Take your time, Captain. After everything Pal and the Themis crew have subjected me to today in the name of their Undine witch hunt, you'll certainly get no objections from me. Pal says, Objection? Was that a court pun, Dr. Javik? And here I thought you prided yourself on your sense of style and class. What can I say, Inspector General? When it comes to a lousy sense of humor, I plead guilty. Prepare to transport 5 to beam over.
There you go.
Also, we actually never gave him back command of the ship.
Yeah. I figured I'd leave that option in there because I knew some people suspected him of being a shapeshifter the whole time.
I've noticed that you have some characters in your missions that are really hilarious and have funny lines. Because I remember back when we played Yesterday is Tomorrow, there was that what was the name of that villain? The one that
Abramson.
Yes. So
Yeah,
he was like over the top. Funny.
Yeah, I did have some callbacks back to that with the dialogue from.
Yeah, I got like callbacks. That's a good word for it. I got reminded of there was you definitely have a style. That's what I was trying to say.
And if you'll notice, every person in here is uniquely named. I think that's probably how I wound up missing the bailiff.
Oh yeah, look, each one of these people have
From Triola Creeks. Who's this guy? Keishi.
Did you just make up all these names, or are there some kind of, would it be...
There's no real code to them, I just made these up based on what sounded to me like names for each species. Mm-hmm. So I did base it on which species they are. And
okay, why is there Herosian here?
There's Breen here, there's Herosian. I was kind of thinking back to Undiscovered Country.
I found one that's not named. It's Jim Hadara here. Federation Engineer.
Oh gosh. Where is he?
I'm standing next to it.
Okay, yeah. There we go. That Jim Hadar is named Federation Engineer.
Yeah, I think it's Federation Engineer.
It's the language, right? In their language, Federation Engineer is just a common name like John Smith. There's 60-odd NPCs on this map, and so between this and the others, I ran out of costumes. I had to start using the cryptic costumes.
Yeah, I noticed that Theodore Reynolds over here has the Riser.
Yeah,
costume.
Rising Male.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a little Ferengi woman there in a green tube top.
Actually, and this is an interesting thing, people who are Foundry authors might want to note this. You remember how Dan Stahl used to talk about unlocking the costume type so you could mix on and off duty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that in the Foundry now.
So you can mix off-duty and on-duty. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've got an example.
Like a top has to be entirely off or on duty. A bottom has to be entirely off or on duty, but you can have off-duty top with on-duty bottoms or vice versa. That's another thing I hope doesn't get taken away from me.
Oh yeah, I can see it on this woman here. She's wearing the formal top with the standard ribbed kind of bottom.
Yeah.
I like this Ferengi, actually. You can use purple, orange, red, and yellow, green.
I try to make Ferengi as colorblind as possible.
Yeah.
That's one thing that disappoints me when I see Ferengi in the game, is that they seem so color coordinated compared to Ferengi on the show. And not only that, but I was thinking about like how in the original series, I mean, everybody who ever popped up in the original series was kind of dressed colorblind.
Mm-hmm. I just want to show people this. I know, is this out the window? The shuttle's outside the window. I remember seeing that in the trailer and thinking, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, is there an invisible
And
wall
I
here?
guess people over here are the jury.
Oh, yeah, there's an invisible wall.
There is an invisible wall, and it is because actually, and this is a thing you would probably only find in a demo record. If you notice the Starfleet emblems right here that I'm standing by the judge.
Uh-huh.
These are actually not an asset you can normally get in the Foundry. They're part of a building. I've got buildings arranged to make parts of this room.
Oh.
Yeah. So and if you were able to get too close to the window out there, you would be able to see that there are buildings floating outside the window.
Insane.
I can't see
I measured out exactly the distance you had to be away, that even if you scrolled your camera all the way out, you wouldn't be able to see the buildings.
Okay, look, people are asking, no, Helena?
There is a female, Regelian. And I didn't have Hav's permission, and I figured I was entering in the contest anyway, so I didn't name her Helena, but if I can find the female Rigelian. It's kind of like Where's Waldo. There's one female Rigelian here.
I got one here.
Right here? No, that's the Ferengi male.
No, Hopness.
Yeah, Havna.
This pink lady.
Hopness. I don't know. I gave her kind of an age name. Kind of made her sound a little bit like Helena. I didn't have the Helena style guide, and I didn't want to collaborate with Hav on a contest I was going to be submitting to him, so I didn't ask him for permission.
Yeah, I think once he did say, it'd be nice if people asked him to use Helena, but I've seen people just, putting her in any kind of mission. And, she is a Doff now, so I guess she's part of the game.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there were any in-jokes with any of these guys. I did include the liberated Borg Saurian that they included as a contact, just because I thought that was bizarre. That
Where
there
is
was
that?
a liberated
Saurian.
Slussic or something, yeah.
Although, and actually, she's a recurring character on this map. There is a, if you have the 7 of 9 costume, you can put it on any female, including the Borg parts. Which I think is kind of neat, because that's how you... And I've seen one person do this in-game at an in-game event. You can have a liberated Borg-cation female.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I mean, you can barely see it. I mean, she's in the jury, but yeah. So
I can see that in the corner, cation with kind of Borg eye thing.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
Somebody's
thing over there.
Yeah, and actually, like, there's some interesting things I did with this room. Like above there, above the jury, those are holding cells that I used there. And like I say, there are buildings used for parts of walls. There are multiple auction consoles for the display behind Admiral Powell. Gosh, I used crates for some of the stuff up on the ceiling with the pipes. Lots of kind of using Foundry assets and creative way. Oh, this is an auction console that are the walls in front of the jury. I think P.F. Dennis is doing something similar for his jury, using the same asset the same way there. Because he's got his own courtroom trial.
Yeah, I've heard about that. This is all interesting.
I don't think he knows what he's going to do with the courtroom, but he's made a courtroom and got a YouTube video of it up.
Right. And, I put this console in. At one point, there was no console here, but I put it in because the light off of it kind of makes your character pop off of the very orange room. If you stand in front of it, I'm
Unfortunately,
actually seen
it's a bit of a Romulan console.
Yeah.
I've never seen this
I'm
thing
actually
before.
kind of tempted to do a little bit more tweaking and maybe just publish a Foundry mission of this so fleets can use it as a social map for courtrooms.
Oh, that'd be a good idea. I've heard about them. We used to have like a wiki kind of thing where we'd put down assets that people could share, like courtrooms and things that people could pick up and use whenever they wanted to. We're probably going to have to put that back again because we had to
It would
close
take
down
me an
to
awfully long time to, because there
list
are
everything
probably
in
a couple
this
hundred
room.
assets.
Yeah, it does. How long did it take you to make all this? Because it's so complicated. And
I think I showed you guys a preview of it back in October. I actually put it aside after about a week of working on it, then came back and worked on it for another week back after Christmas, so probably about 2 weeks. I mean, the whole mission was about 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's the pathway here, they're like tables, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Those are tables used as stairs.
I didn't notice that. Wow, tables and stairs.
And the Skrian researchers are still in their holding cells.
Oh, even on this map?
Yeah.
So, like, because we zoomed back in from a different map and they're still here.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And the unnamed bailiff is still an unnamed bailiff. I love whoever at Cryptic allowed us to start copying maps.
Yeah, that is a good thing.
But
so are there any issues with that? I thought there was some issues someone was having before where they copied a map and then for some strange reason, pop-up dialogues and things that were on the other map that they copied were showing up on the wrong map and NPCs were on the wrong maps.
It happens. It happens if you're using optional objectives, which is another reason why my advice is build the map, copy the map, then put all of the objectives and mission stuff on it.
Yeah, because if you duplicate the map after you've done it, then it might duplicate all those objectives and strange things and callbacks and.
So I pretty much have to build the maps before I do the story timeline. Last thing I do is put the actual dialogue in.
That's a good thing to note for Foundry authors. I think it was in.
I mean, it's good to have your dialogue and have your story, but to actually put it in place, I wait till. I think it generally works best, like I say, map first. And I think that's the reason why Cryptic is so infatuated with maps. I mean, on a podcast likes to talk about how much Cryptic loves maps. Well, I think maps are where they spend the bulk of their time, and I think I think it's the first step in their process too. I mean, just my guess. And so, if that's the first step in their do cleanup later. But if that's the first step in their process, I figured that's why they're a little bit map obsessed.
Mm-hmm. It's even the first step in the Foundry itself. I mean, you have to have a map before you can do anything. You can't place things on things that don't exist. You can't place dialogues on NPCs that aren't on the maps. You can't do anything.
That was interesting. Your security officers, they beamed out pretty. They were pathing not that. They weren't pathing that poorly. I was, one reason I have you leave your away team behind the first time you come here is because I figured they wouldn't be able to handle the hallway or the stairs.
Can we try that again? Can you beam in some security escorts and have them run around?
Well, I have my Gorn.
Yeah, I've got a 20-second cooldown because I popped the.
My Gorn are actually responding pretty well to it. I've noticed that the pathing's been getting better.
Yeah, they ran up the stairs and everything.
Okay.
I remember testing a mission before, and they wouldn't run upstairs, and they just sort of stood there when you went up somewhere that was placed on a map.
I
Okay,
figured they
so
would
I'm
be
going
confused.
to pop them on you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Security
you know, it's probably honestly not necessary at all to leave them behind.
Leave them behind. Oh, that's cool. I wonder if that's a recent thing, like with the latest update, with all the DirectX 9 fixes and DirectX 11 and.
It's entirely
extra
possible. I mean, as much as people talk about them abandoning the Foundry, I noticed little. I mean, it's like the Type 10 shuttle is an asset in there now. The Jem'Hadar ship is an asset in there, although it's oddly named. There are constant little tweaks to the Foundry. They don't forget about it, but they don't announce them. They're never in the patch notes.
Yeah, they probably. I don't know. Maybe they don't even know some of these fixes are going in.
Well, you know, it's a different team, right? It's
Yeah,
Dan
exactly.
Stahl guys over there now. So
I think it's a good time to sign off now because we've been going
thank you
for
very much.
a pretty good time. And
Yeah, we have. Thank you very much. I really
Yeah,
always
thank you
love being
very
on the
much.
show. And
yeah, it's, I thought it was about time we had you back on the show because yesterday was tomorrow was back in episode 3 and that was like 13 episodes ago now. So it was really
absolutely.
cool.
Hey, you know, I'm working on my master's thesis right now, but if you guys ever want to come back and do Currents Turned Awry, I think it's probably the shortest of my missions. First one on holodeck. If you ever have a down week, I'll come back and we can do that.
Yep, we
I'm
can
sure
definitely-
we can schedule that sometime.
Yeah, we can put that on our list.
Yeah, like I say, if you just ever have a cancellation or something, I'll jump in. But otherwise, it's been great, and really appreciate you having me on the show.
Always a pleasure to have you on. And if anyone else wants to suggest their missions to us, I haven't said this for a couple of episodes now, you can email us at broadcastugc@starbasegc.com and or just tweet us on Twitter because we're at broadcastugc, or go on our Facebook page, Starbase, facebook.com/starbasegc, or just chat with us in our chat room or anytime because we're everywhere.
Yes, the Starbase UGC chat room on GeekNet, Geekshed.
Geekshed.net. You can access that from starbasegc.com. Just click on chat. So that was Leviathan 99's mission, Final Judgment, which is in the Podcast UGC contest, which hasn't been announced yet. I mean, the winners. So hopefully, good luck on this.
Yes.
Win yourself a Jem'Hadar bugship.
Hey, my
Bazag,
mission's
yes.
in there as well.
Your mission's in there as well.
Oh, that's
good.
right.
Yeah, well. How many
The
other people are in
contest
that?
is
No,
to
we-
be announced
we,
this podcast UGC.
Well, Bazag, we broke bread, and now it's war, right? So
Yeah. Now it's every man for himself.
actually, I'm really hoping somebody at Cryptic just takes pity on us and just gives like all 6 authors a bug ship. That would be my ideal.
That was one of my things. I was hoping on the very final Christmas Winter Wonderland day that they would just make every drop a red box or something like that. Just because it was the last day, they could have said, "Yeah, everyone, let's raise the chance to 100%." But I guess that didn't happen. So that was.
You think about people who spent $700 at that point. They
Yeah.
might have been relieved. They might have been kind of ticked that they never had to spend that in the first place.
Yeah, that was a good point actually. So that was Broadcast UGC. Thanks everyone in the chat room for watching. That was episode 16, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.